Well, I'm leaving the almanac up here because we got to talk about some of these comfortable conditions. Right now, the low around there tonight was 39, and we're looking at that record. Now it's 33, and we were talking about Stephen earlier about some of these cold temperatures that are making their way in, and we're looking at this beautiful sunset right now, not a cloud in the sky, and it's been this way for a couple days. Now I do know that the summer was a pretty sweltering one, record heat, but at the same time we're still seeing that high pressure settling in over the west, and that's what's causing a lot of these more comfortable temperatures. But these huge change as far as these ranges of temperatures by about 40 degrees, again 39 around sunrise, and sunset is getting closer and closer, about 7:08 tomorrow, and today we touched into those 80s. We're already beginning that rapid cool down. We get a good look at those temperatures outside right now, hanging out 63 here in San Angelo. Everybody else joining us in those mid-60s. Now that's a pretty uniform cooling, considering during the summer we are also doing uniform heating up into those triple digits. So we're looking across the entire Concho Valley. We're not far apart from each other right now, only a couple of degrees. Now remember, during the summer, areas like Sterling City we're touching at near double the temperatures they are now, 120 degrees. Right now we're only touching into those 80s, but we're seeing where those warmer temperatures are. Denver this time last week was in those freezing cold temperatures. Right now they're at 70. We see those colder temperatures off to the east, but still those warmer temperatures. Areas like Phoenix, Arizona setting more records as far as record-setting heat, while areas like Florida are seeing some of the coldest hot days they've seen on record. That means that it's getting only up into the mid-80s in areas like Florida. It's a lot of cold air making its way across the entire nation. Now, this high pressure, this small variation of the heat dome, going to continue to build its way over the four corners, and then it's going to weaken. That's going to turn into some strong ridging. It's going to pull those storms down across the Mississippi River Valley, send them on east, but those temperatures are going to touch up in the 90s here. But again, causing a lot of rapid cooling, and this is going to develop a low pressure system off the west coast. That could be our next opportunity to see some rain, but not until further into next week. But it could still look very similar to what we saw this summer. Right now we're watching as this high pressure circulates around the Rocky Mountains, just pulling massive amounts of cold air down across this region into East Texas, and it's really causing that frontal boundary and that moisture continue to making its way to the east. Again, seeing some of those colder temperatures clear across the Gulf Coast region. Now, severe weather outlook, nice and cold. Remember, cold air, stable conditions, and when we look across at the radar, that's all we're seeing. Look how clear all of this is. Now, that frontal system making its way across North Dakota and parts of Montana, well, it's going to continue to push that way and make its way through. Again, seeing some of that troughing as it makes its way into those Gulf regions. Now, as soon as the storms run out of energy, they're going to start to pull into more of that cold air. So we're watching that circulation around areas of North Dakota. Watch how much this storm builds. Then it runs into a little bit of resistance as it makes its way east, slows down, moves clear across Michigan, but look how much cold air it pulls in behind it. Look across the entire west of the entire United States, not a cloud. This is some pretty strong high pressure like we saw this summer, letting us know this El Nino is still not over and far from over when we're talking about some of these winter conditions. So tonight we're getting down into those 50s. We're dropping about 10 more degrees. Then tomorrow we're making a run at those upper 80s, could flirt with those 90s, and then as we make our way towards the weekend, we're going to get even hotter as we make our way into those 90s, while those lows are still in that 40-degree spread. Then we find ourselves on kickoff, Ram Jam, still seeing those lows get into those 60s, but by the time we start that fourth week of October, we're seeing those colder temperatures follow right behind it. Stay tuned. More after the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.